I'm Cynthia, and I'm the host of the reality series CPS Horror Stories. I am not an attorney or a social worker, but I am a mom who had her children kidnapped by CPS in 2016. And after 2 years of fighting, I did get my kids back. And the purpose of this show is just to reveal and expose the corruption and the traumatic events that are caused by CPS. A lot of people think that Child Protective Services is a good department and that they help children in abusive homes, but that is absolutely not the case. I've actually seen more children left in abusive homes, while the children who are in good and loving homes are removed and put up for adoption, because this is a billion-dollar business and we all give into that. So I'm with Sandy. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell me where you're from, what you do, and so on and so forth.
Roberta, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona. So I'm on Social Security income. I really not there's not much to tell, other than I've been through a lot.
Okay. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
28, gonna be
28?
20 in January.
Okay. And how many kids do you have?
I have 2, and then 1 on the way.
So you were mentioning that CPS was involved in your life when you were a child.
Yeah, they took me from my parents at a year old. I might cry a little bit. It's
Okay,
not.
I understand.
Different last name since the day I was born.
Hold on, your phone is cutting out just a little bit, and I didn't hear what you said.
I have 4 different last names since the day I was born. And I'm only 28.
Wow.
I was adopted 3 times, relinquished right to 3. Every home changed my name from the day I was born. When they had adopted me, they said they couldn't handle my behaviors. The first home when I was taken at a year old from my biological mom, because she had epilepsy. I have seizures due to stress and stressful events. I was placed in the Pucci's home. At first, they just wanted my brother. They didn't want me. But I guess CPS at the time was what they were called. They pushed for me and my brother to be together. I was sexually, physically, and emotionally hurt, and by both parents, yanked by my hair, pulled down the hallway, locked in my room for days on end, had to sleep in a bathtub, wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom at all. Just a lot of stuff. So even getting on here is a major trigger for me alone. Just having to talk.
I can imagine.
Whipped with sticks and thorns. Belt to the butt when I wasn't even 2.
Can I ask, so what was the original reason that you were removed from your parents?
I honestly don't know. All I know is what I've been told.
What were you
That
told?
my mom had epilepsy, and she, even near the last visit, she was trying to get into the room. She had a seizure in in the middle of the parking lot. And they told me that my mom didn't care about me and didn't want to come. So me and Elaine got in the car. And for last visit, me and my brother Elaine, the foster parent at the time who I was staying with, the Bertucci's, and she just drove past my mom having a seizure in the middle of the parking lot, literally laying there, flopping around like a fish. And I tried jumping out of the car. The car was moving. At not even a year and a half old, trying to get to my mom, yelling at Elaine she needs help. My mom, look at my mom. And she just drove past her.
And who is this woman?
Foster mom, the foster placement that they placed me with.
And was this during a visit or something?
Yeah, this was during the last visit, the last time I ever got to see my mom. The very last time I ever saw my mom. Adopt me and my brother. She just drove past her in the middle. Tried jumping out of the fucking moving van. And she just kept driving. Yelling at me, put your seatbelt on. Sit down.
And this is something that you remember clearly.
Yeah.
Was your brother with you?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
He's a year younger than me, so he wasn't even about months old.
So he had no idea.
Because I was only a year and a half. And then on top of that, they had given me up. She lied to me. She told me, you want to go for ice cream? That's just going to be me and you. Because after that, my behaviors got worse. I guess I was smashing her kids' fingers and drawers and things like that and acting out because I wasn't being able to go with my mom.
Yeah.
Because they just ripped me off from her after that. And I guess my behaviors were getting worse, and she didn't like the fact that my brother was calling me mom. At 9 months old, my brother was calling me mom. I wasn't even a year and a half. But that's who my brother looked at as mom, was me. And she didn't like it. She decided, you know what, I gotta give her away. Not even the age of, I think, 3 or 4. She lied to me and she told me, you want to go get ice cream? And my response was, can I take my brother with me? She goes, no, it's just gonna be me and you. She dropped me off at ASCA Treatment Facility, which was a mentally ill hospital for children. It's no longer here in Tucson anymore, but back then it was. And it was called ASCA Treatment Facility. It was a mental hospital for kids with behavioral issues, where they literally drugged them up. And she told the hospital, oh, I'll come see her every day. But you know what? No, she came to see me one time. One fucking time. The entire time it was there. And then relinquished her rights in the middle of it. Because that's the only way she knew how to get me away from my brother.
Wow.
They never gave up. He still has their last name and everything.
Have you seen him?
No. Moved all the way down to Missouri to be with them.
You did?
They have full control over his life. Even till now this day. And he's a grown adult.
And you don't have a relationship with him?
I can't because he's with them.
Yeah,
Even him being an adult, they won't let him have a relationship with me. If he talks to me or to me, they will disown him. And that's what he's most scared of, because of him, by kicking him with his steel-toed boots. Hitting him with sticks his entire life, hitting him with belts. So he's scared of them, can only imagine. So he won't talk to me. He doesn't want anything to do with me because he's so scared of them.
And this family physically abused you as well?
Yeah. And this is my blood brother, my biological brother, the only biological family I have that I know of. So they relinquished their rights to me. My name went back to, or I still had the last name Bertucci. I was thrown into the foster care system again, in and out of group homes, sent to a foster home, a foster home, Lincoln and Carey, who Link sexually molested me and was having sex with a 14-year-old daughter at the home. And they had me sit there and watch while my wife, who he was married to, was off at school. So he was having the 14-year-old daughter, foster daughter, that they adopted, play the wife role, while drugging me up on several types of fucking vitamins and shit. Throwing us in the pool naked. All the foster kids, even the 1-year-old girl, his fucking daughter, his own blood daughter. Throwing all of us in the fucking pool in the winter naked.
How old were you at this time?
Wasn't even about 10.
Can you tell, would it be too painful to go in more depth of the different types of harassment he was doing?
Well, I woke up one time and he was on top of me. Okay, and he threw us in the pool naked. Made us watch the 14-year-old daughter and him have sex while she wrote everything in her diary. Having us jump on the trampoline naked outside in the middle of fucking winter.
Where's the mom?
At school. She was always at school. The 4-year-old daughter is in Bury.
What did he do to her? The 4-year-old? 14, okay.
That's the one who was having sex with. Making us all sit down and watch. While she was having to write it in her diary. And the placements that DCS puts you in. I had a burst appendix for 2.5 weeks straight. 2.5 weeks straight, a burst appendicitis. They never bothered to take me to the hospital because they had me so drugged up on medication that all I complained was a bellyache. I did not feel no pain due to the burst appendix.
I've had my appendix rupture. It's one of the most excruciating pains, so I can't imagine what they had
They didn't take me to the hospital. They didn't take me to the hospital until I was throwing up green bile for 7 hours straight. In the midst of being able to have to transfer to a foster home that day, I was in the hospital on my deathbed. While in the middle of that, my room sexually molesting me in the hospital.
Who is that now?
Lincoln Sperry's the foster father who was sexually at the age of 14 years old.
So you're in the hospital.
And literally split between my legs and me having a burst appendicitis.
And the nurse caught him?
Yeah.
Did he go to jail?
He ran. They didn't find him.
Ever?
No, looking for him.
So then what?
I don't know. All I know is I woke up and I had a thing in my chest, which was a cross thing, going straight to my heart vein. I was out of it. I was literally nearly dead. The nurse in the hospital even told because I told you I was getting ready to transfer foster homes again. And that place adopted me and relinquished rights to me in Lincoln's Square after DCFS took me away from them again because of the ruptured burst appendix for 2.5 weeks straight.
They didn't get
They
in
claimed it on child abuse. No, they ran. They're still looking for them to stay.
What about the other kids that were in the home?
They got removed. They got taken away. Placed in the city again.
So then
Yeah.
where did you go?
I went to another foster home that adopted me again. Third foster home. Adopted again. We're not she's gonna live.
Who's not gonna live?
She's so sick, we're not sure she's gonna live.
You?
The only reason
But hold on, who's so sick?
was sick.
Sorry,
I was sick in the hospital from the burst appendix. I almost died.
So they were saying they didn't know if you were gonna live.
Yeah. They came to next foster family. Told them we're not sure she's gonna live.
Okay.
I was ICU. I think it was for almost 2 months straight.
Wow.
Had to relearn how to walk. I had to relearn how to talk. I was on a walker. I mean, I had bed sores all over my body from being in that bed for so long.
Oh my gosh.
My hair natted every time the next foster home had to come into the hospital. They would always brush through my hair to try to get all the gnats out. Or what the heck, rat's nest it is. Every time. I was in that bed in the ICU for that long. It took me about how to really walk on a walker.
How long?
About a month to relearn to walk, to relearn how to talk. So a total of months I was in there was for about 3.5 months total in the hospital just from a burst appendix. Because of how severe it was, the stomach bile was in my body, everything. By the time I got out, they still had an in-home nurse coming in for another 1.5 months to shoot needles and medicine into my belly button and my heart vein. Yeah, just from that. I could hardly even get off the bed or the couch, even when they took me home. Even when they said it was for me to be released. I was so sick. I have seizures because my mom has seizures.
Right.
But my seizures gotten worse due to the trauma that I've been through my whole life.
I'm sure.
These people had adopted me and they adopted me and threw me in a homeless shelter and then relinquished their rights to me at the age of 17. This next foster home. And then it was my bad to get with an abusive ex or an abused person who, because the way I was raised,
That's all you
I raised myself to marry the person if I got pregnant. Because I never wanted the shit that happened to me to happen to anybody else, yet alone my own kids. I was the best mother that I could have ever fucked. I left the asshole. The asshole's locked up right in jail, in prison. His is Marcus Vasquez. And my little boy, named him Marky, came in and they swooped him away from me. They took my son out because I had a past history with CS. All because all that shit fucking happened to me. I even left the asshole that I was with, even though I was married to him, and now he's in prison. Because he hit my 4-year-old daughter. No, my 4-day-old daughter. In the head coming home from the fucking hospital. After the fact, he gave me a black eye. Yeah.
Was the baby his?
Yeah, they were both his.
Both. Who's older?
My son. And you know where he's at right now? He's with the bitch who called DCS, which is my last foster mother.
Wow.
And her ex-husband sexually molested me. But they're both down there, all the way in Ohio. And it's a closed case.
It's closed?
Yeah, it's a closed case. For both of them. They're adopted by them. Yeah.
And you said that they're divorced?
They're divorced, yeah. This whole reason she's them right now. And I tried telling her, you know, your dad hurt me. Dad hurt at the time. And was dad to me at the time.
Honey, you're cutting out really bad.
I said at the time, I kept telling her, Dad hurt me. Dad hurt me.
Yeah.
And all she could do was point fingers and tell me lying.
Tell you what?
Telling me I was lying. That's all she could do. And now she has my kids.
And a daughter. One of them is a girl.
Yeah.
That breaks my heart.
And that's the end of my story. Other than now I'm in again and I'm terrified that DCS is gonna get involved and that somehow she's gonna fucking find out and wean her way back in even though I'm not talking to her anymore.
Let me ask you, and I apologize if you already said it. Why did CPS take your kids? What was the reasoning?
Because of all the shit that I've been through in my life, they say that my PTSD is a risk and that my seizures is a risk.
Did they offer to give the kids to like a next of kin or anything like that?
Nothing. They didn't offer shit.
Have you thought of filing like an appeal or something?
I don't know what to do. I'm terrified.
I get it.
I mean,
how old are the kids right now?
my daughter's 3, my son's 2. They're just babies.
Yeah. Wow. May I ask, this baby that you're pregnant with, is it the same father or no?
Oh, no way in hell.
Good. Is he supportive, this one?
Yes, very supportive. And he has a large family too. That's the only thing that eases my mind about this one, if anything did happen, to where they said I wasn't a stable mom because of my seizures or my PTSD due to the shit that they put me through in the system. That at least I know that she'd have a good family.
Right.
She wouldn't go through all that bullshit.
It's a girl?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm just trying to have my ass covered as much as possible so that way they don't get involved. But knowing they still got involved with my other 2, so I mean, well, I just all I knew was pray and hope for the best.
When was the last time you saw your babies?
The last time I saw my daughter was when the asshole was taking pictures of her in the bathtub. And that's the foster family they put into. That's the last time I saw my fucking daughter.
He sent you the pictures?
They told me he was taking photos of my daughter in the bathtub.
Who told you?
He sent the pictures to my mom in Ohio. The one that has my kids right now.
I don't even have any words. I have no words. Do you have an attorney?
The case is closed.
But did you have an attorney?
Yeah, and it was a court-appointed attorney through the state.
Did they give you a case plan or anything like that? Anything to work toward getting the kids back?
I couldn't do a case plan because of the shit that happened to me in my past. It's just too traumatizing. Knowing that the foster father or the foster family they placed her in was taking pictures of her in the bathtub. Knowing that all my life, that's been the whole case with me.
What did the social worker say when you told them?
Nothing. We can't discuss the case. We can't discuss it right now.
Why?
Call me later and freaking we'll just try to discuss it then. I try calling later. I'm not available right now. I'm walking into court hearing. I mean, you try to tell me what you would do in a position like that after all the shit that your past has put you through.
Sorry, my computer keeps going on mute. I don't even know. I literally, I don't even have any words. I'm devastated for you.
This has been my life. My entire life. And now I have to deal with knowing that it's my other two kids' lives. Having to sit here every day trying to think of what the positive and hoping to God that they're not going to go through it. Knowing that, you know, most likely they will.
Yeah. I have that fear too for my kids.
You know, usually a normal DC or CPS child or DCS child only has one manila envelope of past records. You do know this, right?
No.
You know, they have envelopes. They keep track of everything, abuse and everything that goes on in a home. Normally, only one manila envelope is a child's past paperwork. I have 3.5 overstuffed, overfilled manila envelopes of past abuse, past records that date back since 1992.
How come this, the family that has your kids right now, how come they didn't get in trouble for sexually abusing you?
I don't know. Most I can think of is because Jennifer, the woman, the foster mom, she has a lot of pull. She has she knows every cop on the world, pretty much. She makes damn sure she knows every cop. Even in Ohio. I mean, she walks down the street, a cop will just wave to her, hi.
Really?
Yeah. She's gone through school with cops. She's gone to school with medics and make sure she knows the law and all this other crap. So she uses it against or for her own good. I mean, you can't really do much if somebody knows the law and knows how to play it.
Right.
You can only do so much, and then even then you're still limited. Especially someone who has a high authority like that or a high rank. Being
Right.
that she used to be a foster parent, she used to be an adopted parent, and she has had several foster and adopted placements in her home, yet alone she also knows, you know, like I said, the law and the officers and judges and all this other stuff, and she knows how to play it against her own. Very manipulative. There's not much you can do with a person who knows how to be manipulative that good.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which puts you literally having to bow down and fucking try to sit there and hope and wish for the best, really. That's all you can do.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much my story.
What would you tell people that are watching who are either in the middle of this or don't have any experience with CPS or whatever?
What I would tell them is they don't have a traumatizing experience with DCS from their past. You know, fight all you can. Do what you can, but just know even as much as you fight, it's very unlikely that you will get, yet alone, your kids back, or yet alone they won't sit there and tear you down, because they will.
Right.
They'll lie to you till you're blue in the face. You know, they'll sit there, they'll try to manipulate you, they'll try to have you jump through hoops left and right.
Right.
It's not, they try to make it a game, they try to make it out as, oh, we're here to help the kids, but you know, in all actuality, they're not. They
No.
destroy so many lives like mine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first off, I've been through the system and I have not met one person, yet alone any person, who has been through yet alone as much shit as I have in my life. I've heard some fucked up shit. I've heard some shit come from people that say, you know, I've been sexually abused and all this stuff. Yeah. I mean, listen to your kids. If they're, especially if at the appointments, they sit there and throw up a red flag, take that as a serious thing. Because these foster families are not what they're made out to be.
Right.
First off, I just found out that they don't really do background checks on these people.
Yeah, I know.
You know, they just throw a kid in a placement hoping that it's a safe environment, and it's not. They take the kids from the safe homes, and if they're telling you you're a shitty mother, you're not. But I'm sure that they've told everybody, well, you're on drugs, or you're doing this and you're doing that. You know what? Doesn't matter, really. It's how you raise your kids, how you protect, how you love them, how you care about them. I smoked marijuana for my seizures, and that's what they tried holding against me. For my seizures, as a medical thing.
Right.
So that way I didn't go into seizures with my daughter, holding my daughter. So I didn't hurt her. I did that to her, not hurt her. You know, so if they're trying to tell you you're on drugs, you know what? Smoking marijuana, it may be illegal, but you know, you don't need to worry about it, really. They're just going to sit there, tear you down, and throw everything that they have at you regardless. They're going to try to find something to fucking pinpoint on you regardless.
Right.
And you know, it is not a matter of if you're a bad mom, because you're not a bad mom. You're really not. All these women who they tell you're a bad mom to, you're not a bad mom. As long as you're doing it for all the right reasons, and as long as you're doing it for your child's safety and your child's well-being, that's all that really counts.
Let me ask you this, though. What do you feel a person should do if they suspect abuse of any kind from their child while in foster care, but the social workers don't listen?
I would say try to find a family member. Try to have them placed with a family member as soon as possible before they even be put in a foster care placement.
What if that's not an
A
option?
family member that you can trust. If that's not an option, to take pictures of everything. Keep documentations of everything. There's not much you can do. It's not like you can just pull them out of the placement. It's not like you can just grab them and run away during a visit, which I know it's tempting. Trust me.
Very much so.
I know it's very tempting, because I wanted to do that with my own too.
Right.
I mean, the most you can do is take pictures of the bruises. My daughter, when she was taken, she had a bruise on her wrist from the foster father, because he started getting violent with her near the end because he didn't want her to leave. So he started mistreating her and treating her like crap and just shoving food in her mouth, really just to get her to shut up. She had a small bruise on her wrist. It grabbed her wrist really hard. Tried pointing it out to the CS worker, and they said they couldn't talk about it. The same thing. When my daughter was taken, she wasn't even a year old. You know, you don't have to grab a 1-year-old like that, first off, because she's throwing a temper tantrum.
Right.
Because she wants her mom.
Exactly.
Especially after the visit. There's no reason to grab anybody else's child. Okay, you know, I took a picture of that. I took it to the courts. And the courts, you know what the courts tried saying? Oh, she fell when she was playing.
Yeah, because...
But how can you fall when you're playing and it's all around your fucking wrist, a 1-year-old?
Heaven forbid our children actually miss us.
Exactly. So you know what? Just take pictures of everything, document everything, and, you know, get a good fucking lawyer. And don't do one of the shitty fucking appointed lawyers.
Do you feel your case would have ended differently had you had a paid attorney?
Honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I honestly can't say.
Yeah.
Especially with all the crap that I've been through in my life and them trying to hold it against me.
Right.
I mean, I wish I had them here right now, but they're 8 million miles away in Ohio.
Where are you?
Tucson, Arizona.
That's right.
They're in Defiance, Ohio.
Now, I don't understand how they moved them out of state.
Because that's where that's where my last adopted mom lives.
Where did your case take place? Arizona or
You're
Ohio?
in Tucson. You're in Tucson.
Did she move after she adopted her? Or adopted your kids?
During the foster care.
Or she just
It was the only it was the only choice I could do, being that she was having pictures taken by a grown ass adult man in a bathtub. Not even 1 year old. Huh?
What did she say to that? She didn't have a worry about that?
No, I guess she had a worry and used it to her own advantage to get her down there.
What do you mean?
My last adopted mom, who has my kids right now,
Right.
got the picture from the foster father of it being taken in the bathtub, used it to her advantage to get my daughter down to Defiance, Ohio, because she wanted her out of the foster home. And I wasn't going to argue with it.
Wow.
Because, you know, that was probably the best decision for that right then and there for her. That way she wasn't getting sexually abused next. And that was out of protection for my daughter. So, you know, I had her sent 8 million miles away, just to make sure she was safe. That's not an easy decision for a mother at all.
No. No, it's not.
Because a mother wants her babies right here with them.
Of course.
Doesn't want them 8 million miles away.
No.
But I did that because I wanted to make sure she was protected. Being that my mother was divorced to the asshole that sexually molested me.
I would say that's a pretty selfless thing you did.
So, you know, I think being that that was the best choice at that time, I wasn't going to argue with it.
Right.
At least I know she was with family. She was with her little brother. At least I know that they're together. You know, you gotta have more of a positive train of thought instead of just such a negative. I could have sat there and sat back and just had a mental meltdown because all the shit they're trying to hold against me for, you know, my past.
Right.
But I didn't. I wasn't gonna fuck up my daughter's life and have her be abused due to that. Because that's exactly what was gonna happen. Especially if a 40-something-year-old man is taking pictures of someone else's child in a bathtub, and they're just a foster placement.
How does are you married to the man that you're with right now?
No,
Okay.
he's my boyfriend.
Okay, how does your boyfriend feel about all of this stuff? Does he have fear?
Oh, he has a lot of fear, but he has every right to have the fear
Of
he
course.
has.
Of
Because I
course.
have the same fear. And I don't blame him. But you know, he does good by his family. You know, he's not sitting there hitting me or beating me. You know, he's out working right now. He's taking care of his family. He's making money to put food on the table, to make sure that his new daughter has formula and food in the house, to make sure that she has the things that she needs for when she comes home and I come home from the hospital with her, you know. And that's the most positive thing, and he's the best thing that's happened to me since day one of my life, really.
That's amazing.
I mean, he loves me, he cherishes me. I wouldn't have what I have now if it wasn't for him. And that's the truth.
That's great.
And I'm blessed, beyond blessed, with 3 little doggies. I am beyond blessed with a roof over my head, especially during COVID-19.
Yep.
You know how many people don't have a roof over their head right now because they don't have the funds, or they can't work because everything's closed down?
Right.
I'm blessed. I am beyond blessed, and I realize that. But you know, it took me to go through hell to even get here when it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And thank God I'm here. Oh, thank God. Because, you know, it took me so long in my life because I always searched for a mother and father figure. You know, in my life, I've always literally fucking tried finding family elsewhere because I was never comforted. I was never taken care of in my past. And you don't hear that on an everyday basis coming from somebody. And, you know, it took me up until now to realize I don't have to look for family. You know, family really just comes to you when you need it.
Right.
And when it's the right time.
Right.
And anybody out there who has a roof over their head, food in their house, and may not have the luxuries, you know, at least you have that right now. Because it's not easy to find. There's people out there homeless, having to fend for themselves, having to try to find a job because they're losing theirs.
Yes.
You know, it's not an easy time at all right now for anybody. But, you know, all that matters is that you really have family right next to your side. And if you have that, you're really blessed. Regardless if it's the family you weren't born to or you were born to. They're there. And you should love and hold that and cherish that.
I love your appreciation for the littlest things. They're not little, they are huge, but it's things that we just truly take for granted and don't give a lot of acknowledgement for, because we've become a society of selfishness and entitled.
Yeah, and really, I mean, back in the days, in the olden days, women gave birth under rocks and trees and in bathtubs by themselves. You know how many women died from all that? And they lost their babies, or they didn't have a roof over their head, and really it's just the small appreciations are really big appreciations that you need to look for in life.
Yes.
You don't find them every day, and it's not, you don't think about it every day, really. You walk around thinking about and sweating about, oh, I have to work, or oh, I've lost my job, or all that stuff. You just don't have time to go home and spend time with your kids and your husband or your boyfriend or the family that you have right then and there. And that's what really life's all about. It's when you're treated right after you've gone through so much hell, and then being able to sit back and look back on it and say, I have been through hell, but boy, am I glad I'm here now.
Yes. And it is amazing when we are able to look back and see. I believe in God, I like to look back and see where he showed up. And like you said, all the little blessings, whether, for example, in my CPS case, I had a witness for almost everything bad that happened in my case. So it didn't end up being a he said, she said thing. It was, I got to tell this is, I'm sorry of the hiccups. I got to tell this is what happened, and this is who saw,
Yeah. And that was smart on your part.
Oh, it was never intentional. It just happened that way.
But still, it was smart on your part, really. It's God blessing you with something, that's the small blessings that that you don't even realize.
Right.
Until later in
Yeah.
life, really. I
You're
think
pretty incredible and brave to come on and share your story, not just me but with everybody who's listening. And I love that, because there are people that are listening who've been living in fear, or who've been living in complete isolation, thinking that they're the only one that have gone through something like this.
Well, I blocked it out for so many years of my life, and even coming on here, and the thought of coming on here terrified me. That's why I kind of blew you guys off there for a little bit.
I understand.
It's not an easy thing, but once you do it, and I'm sure that you're probably going to have a lot more calls after people here have heard mine, because mine's not a normal DCS thing at all.
Right.
Mine's a little bit more on the intense side.
Yeah.
So,
And it truly it started the moment you were born, pretty much, and it has never left you alone.
but I wish it did. Trust me, but it hasn't. And it never will. When they say history repeats itself, oh, it's definitely history repeats itself. And sometimes it's not for the better. It's just a matter of how will you end it. It's like a hamster going around in a cage, running on that little circle thing, just looking for a door.
Feeling like you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, you know, growing up in the system, it's gave me a lot of issues. I'm not gonna lie.
Like what?
I have PTSD. I have reactive attachment disorder. You know,
Will you explain that?
reactive attachment disorder is where you've gone through so much in your life to where when you actually find a good thing, you either try to push it away or you try to run from it because you're scared of it ending up like it's ended up before. You're scared of that good person hurting you or leaving you.
Yeah.
You're scared of having whatever you love being ripped away from you because that's all that's happened in your life. That's what reactive attachment disorder is.
I have that too. I've had everybody in my life leave me.
But you want to get close to somebody, and you have that urge to get close to somebody. But you know, everybody just tells you, why don't you try to get close to them? Why don't you open up? But it's not that easy.
Right.
It's not as easy as it looks at all. You can sit there and try to open up to somebody as much as you want, but what you're really looking for is something to fill that hole.
Yeah.
It's like your heart's just been cut up in a billion different pieces or broken by a billion different pieces of glass falling on the ground. And you're just sitting there having to glue and try to glue every piece of glass back together.
Right.
But you're missing some pieces. If you're missing those pieces, how can you put what's broken back together? You can't.
You're right.
You can only try to fill it. And that's exactly what reactive attachment disorder is. You have the urge to get close to somebody, but that piece of glass has been broken. And there's glass everywhere. So you have to take glue and you have to try to glue every piece back together. But then there's those pieces that are just missing, and they're not small pieces, they're those big pieces. So you're never gonna be whole, no matter what you do. And that's the hard part. You have to try to make it work. You have to sit there and realize, well, crap, I'm running again. But, you know, it's not that easy. And it may not be physically running. It may not be running down the street. It's just running in your head in a hamster cage, really.
Yep, I totally understand. You're saying, like, your words for this are so perfect.
It's because I've been through it over and over and over and over again. And it hasn't stopped. And I've been going through it since 1992. And we're in what, 2020?
Yeah.
It just takes breaks, really. It's all life is. Life just keeps moving on and on and on, but it'll never stop. It'll just take pause. It'll take a minute, just like we take a minute to breathe. And then it'll start all back up again. And when it does, it starts up even harder, even faster, and it spirals and spins around your head. You're just really looking for a way out.
Yeah,
But there is no way out because it's life.
Go ahead and stay on just 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and take us off live. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
No.
When are you due?
November 21st.
Okay, give me 1 moment.